Hello and welcome to my video lecture on using while loops, the while loop structure in PHP. So here we have an index PHP file, has a PHP section here up on top, has an HTML section down on the bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to do some looping up in the PHP section, and we are going to display the results of that looping down here in the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, we'll set up a variable called counter. And we're going to use counter to control how many times the loop iterates. So the main thing about a loop is making sure that it eventually ends. Infinite loops are a terrible coding mistake, but what we're going to do here is we're going to use this counter as our mechanism to make sure that this while loop actually stops. While loops start with the while keyword. The while keyword, just like the if statement, tests some kind of condition. In this case, we're going to test to see if counter is less than 5. Now, if it is, we're going to use our curly braces to set up our code that's going to execute every time that this iterates. So we are going to set up a variable called message, and message is going to basically concatenate onto itself the counter, whatever the counter value is at the time. I want to make sure that we're case sensitive. And then we've got our counter, and what we're going to do is we're going to append, this is going to be eventually a long string, hopefully. Not terribly long, but we're going to tack on a bar, right, or a pipe, however you want to say that. And then what we're going to do is we want to, put my semicolon at the end of that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to make counter increment by 1. So this loop is going to start, it's going to test the value that's in counter, which the first time through is going to be 1. And it's going to test to see if it's less than 5. It's going to loop through. The first time it loops through, it's going to tack on the counter, and it's going to add a pipe to it, so it's going to be 1 pipe. And then we're going to increment, and then this is going to loop until, actually let's make it equal to 5. So as long as it's less than or equal to 5, this is going to loop. And then what we want to do is we are going to want to display the message. So let's do that down here at the body of our HTML with a span tag. Might as well throw in a couple of breaks so we get a nice space in between the two. And then what we want to do here is we want to echo out whatever is in the message variable. All right, so far so good. So we're going to save that. I'm going to refresh our web page, and we've got an undefined variable message. So we're going to go back and check why it doesn't like message. So message is here. Doesn't like that it's incrementing. Okay, well, we'll start off. We'll make message equal to an empty string. And hopefully that will solve that issue. So let's save that. Go to our browser window, run that. It still runs, but on line 9, it does not like our message. Message is being set here. That message. Well, you know what? Maybe it just doesn't like that. String message. And hopefully doesn't mind that. There we go. Okay, so it didn't like it incrementing on itself in that loop. Okay, you learn something new every day. So there's our code, there's our while loop, and that is how a while loop will iterate. It'll iterate 5 times and then break out into our HTML code where we'll display our message, which is, as we see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separated by pipes. And that is the end of my video lecture on how to use a while loop. Obviously, the test that can be done here to test whether or not this loop should iterate can be just about anything. And then the code that you put inside of the while loop can be just about anything. So now that you know how to use while loops in your code, hopefully you will use it in your code, and have a great day.